Hi, and welcome to the Boat Princess podcast. My name is Nicky Vaux, and I'm your host. I'm a boat owner, a marinas owner, an international conference presenter, and a huge advocate for boating. I'm sharing the stories from every nook of the boating industry with the intention of encouraging more women to join me and for more women to get behind the helm too. I want to share the experience and opportunities of boating, of the boating industry, and I want you to join me as I bring the conversations and answer all the questions you've had. Boating is not just for the glamorous and rich and famous. It's full of beautiful and interesting people making the most of our natural environment and getting out there enjoying the waterways. So let's let off the lines, take over the helm, and escape to the world of boating. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Boat Princess podcast. I have with me today a very interesting man from the other side of the world to Australia, the lovely Alberto Sonino from Venezia Sottoso Marina. Welcome.
Welcome.
So good to have you here.
It's a pleasure.
So you have been in the marina industry for a very long time, haven't you? Like 21 years or so, is that right?
I started several years ago, actually. Too many from the actual perspective, and but I was super young.
Yeah. And how did you start? How did you get into this business?
I had a kind of an introduction through my previous professional activity, being a professional sailor, and with this wonderful double stream of Olympic classes and offshore sailing in parallel. This probably compromised my best results, being always around the marks for the coastal Olympic training and racing, and also being offshore for ocean crossing and offshore sailing. But on the other side, I had the opportunity of seeing really wonderful places and experience incredible situations, including visiting coastal infrastructure and marinas. And this was my only feedback, because I don't have a yachting family history.
Okay.
So my family is not in yachting, and I was not doing the ordinary experience of a kid sailing in or cruising on holiday with the parents' boat. My sailing approach has been completely autonomous.
Yep.
Through friends when I was relatively almost adult, let's say teenager.
Yep.
So I missed the very childhood on board. It was my choice, so I was quite motivated. And this brought me quite quickly to sailing regattas, multi-hull sailing in a very dynamic moment, and then to the Olympic classes, and then to the multi-hull offshore sailing. That's why I experienced the yachting industry from the sailing point of view. And I had a strange opportunity to participate to a feasibility study developed for the challenge of developing yachting in this historical city of Venice.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the city managers were finally understanding that Venice was losing one of its historical assets, like the maritime heritage and maritime culture.
Yeah.
And I've been part of a group, like a think tank for yachting industry, job opportunity, and urban regeneration.
Wow.
Of abandoned public areas in the lagoon of Venice.
Oh, okay.
And I was the sportive part for, let's say, contributing with sailing schools, racing teams, also professional organization in terms of leisure yachting.
Yeah.
Other people were taking care of shipbuilding and infrastructures. This was 2004 or 5.
Okay. So 20 years ago.
And this was the moment for my Olympic campaign, being not successful enough to keep me on a full professional, full-time job in sailing.
Okay.
So that's why at the end of the day, I started inquiring more and more these possibilities. And long story short, I founded a small company, a startup, taking care of a piece of Venice, actually.
Yes.
An island, 24 hectares of abandoned land with a former polluted military industry, producing weapons and ammunition since the Second World War, and then completely abandoned. And I applied a call for tender and designed a strategy for regenerating this part of Venice, planned to be a urban park,
yes,
a green area in a city like Venice, which has no green areas.
Very few green areas, yes.
And
the odd tree in the middle of a square.
using yachting as a towing activity of this regeneration plan. So the approach has been quite unusual because yachting has not been added to a real estate development, but been used for starting a regeneration plan, which also includes a lot of landscaping, some agriculture, some outdoor spaces for public uses, several buildings to be destroyed and rebuilt, and some others to be restored. An archaeological area, everything inside a very unique environmental site, which is part of the UNESCO protected site.
Wow, so some real challenges.
Which is the Laguna of Venice, and it has been quite challenging to start because really everybody in the world knows Venice.
Yes.
As a cultural and tourist destination, but really few people knows Venice as a yachting destination.
Yeah.
So the challenge, still actual, is to set Venice in the radar of boat owners and yachting passionate to come to Venice with their own boat, or to come to Venice to charter a boat and to enjoy Venice and its lagoon from the water perspective, which can be rowing, sailing, motorboating, electric boating, can be fishing, can be sailing regattas, or simply enjoy a cruise around the lagoon.
That's quite ironic that, like, to me, Venice is one of the most perfect places in the world because everywhere you go, you have to go by boat. Right? So I assume that people would naturally go to Venice with their boats, but they don't. You actually have to persuade them to do that.
It is a contradiction.
Yeah.
Because really every economic and life moment of the city is based on boating. Every good is transported by boat. Every waste is transported by boat. Every person is transported by boat. Either public transportation systems, which are water buses, or private boating. On the other side, this kind of boating is meant to secure the transportation from A to B.
Yeah.
It's not a leisure situation, which is something very different. We can count 40,000 boats registered in the Bay of Venice, which is called the Lagoon of Venice. It's incredibly more than the whole Sydney Bay or
absolutely,
or any other let's say contaminated area. The Lagoon of Venice, differently than a lake, is open to the sea. So there are entrances, 3 different entrances, and there's a wonderful communication in terms of nature and hydraulic management of this incredible site. On on one side, this professional and let's say daily life boating is a fantastic window and a laboratory for new technology in yachting,
Yeah.
because Venice is an environmental protected site, and the fleet of this professional transportation is still very old and need to really apply the transition to new technology. This not only means powertrains and low emission engines, but also water lines in order to reduce the noise
Yeah.
and the wave, let's say wave pollution, the wave effect,
Yeah.
which compromise both the nature and the monuments of the city. That's why we're working a lot about e-mobility, hydrogen, battery systems, storage systems, and innovative hulls, including foiling solutions.
Yep.
Fact is that we don't want to be fast in the Lagoon of Venice. So
Yeah.
last challenge is to foil at low speed
Oh, yeah.
without producing waves
Yeah.
and without producing pollution and
Yeah.
noise.
Yeah.
From the leisure point of view, I would say we are only at the very beginning.
My goodness.
Despite Venice has a wonderful yacht club with 100 years old of history, and several other small yacht clubs which are doing nice approaches to kids and young generations, the boat owners, in terms of yacht owners of every size, are relatively few, simply because the Venetian citizens are fewer and fewer. And touristic impact, the massive tourism impact, is also producing a decrease of number of citizens,
Yes, I've heard that.
despite the tourist numbers increasing.
Yeah.
This literally decreased the boat owners and need to be compensated with foreign people and international boaters to keep their boat in Venice,
Yes.
as they can keep the boat in Sardinia or in Croatia or in the Caribbean, and been using their boat as a pied-à-terre, leaving their yacht as a floating accommodation in town, enjoying the city and the lagoon all over the year.
Yep.
Sailing also in wintertime because of the protected the tidal waters.
I love Venice in winter, I must say.
And in the meanwhile, they can also enjoy Croatia as for the summer cruising, which, in my opinion, is more part of our playground, despite being considered a competitor from some colleagues.
Yeah.
I do think Croatia is part of the reason to keep your boat in Venice and enjoy the wonderful crystal water of the eastern side of the Adriatic Sea.
Yeah.
All those reasons brought us, or myself and my team, to promote events in town, mainly sports events, but most of the time also cultural events linked to the Biennale Art and Architecture, but also dance, theater, music, and the movie festival, which is super known, trying to merge the yachting opportunities of the city and the water economy together with the glamour and historical image and brand of the city of Venice.
Yeah.
It has been a wonderful experience to welcome and organize the America's Cup Award Series in 2011 and 12. This was quite a massive event for the city of Venice.
Yeah.
But also some yearly regattas and special occasions, sometimes pieces of art in the water or floating installations, or also set of films, as we did with Casino Royale for James Bond filming.
Did you? Were you in that?
I did the maritime coordinator of that experience.
Did you?
Together with several others experience with big international film productions.
Yeah.
That
would have been so much fun.
Last one has been fantastic with Julian Schnabel on a film with several super actors like Al Pacino and Joe Pesci and several other super American stars.
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, promoting the city as being, let's say, used, but on a smart and respectable uh, point of view.
Yeah. And
The
there's the
last
big
challenge,
sail event, isn't there? When that's in October, isn't it?
yes,
Yeah.
we have two interesting sailing events in our area every year.
Yeah.
So not only the one shot event as it has been the America's Cup, every year close to Venice, only 50 miles away. The Barcolana is taking place on the second week of October. This is the biggest regatta in terms of number, with 2,000 yachts on the same starting line, from 150 footer down to 5 footer boats.
That must be so good to see.
And it is a fantastic experience with the wonderful city of Trieste, welcoming boaters and sailing passionate, and merging the yachting community with the local citizens.
Yeah.
And I think this is fantastic for our industry, because it attracts people that normally are not sailing, and touching the boats, looking the boats, enjoying the village, listen the music the whole week before, into a very yachting moment. And this also regards several messages in terms of sustainability in yachting and in boating in general. The weekend after, the same fleet, actually a part of this huge fleet of sailing yachts, is coming to Venice for a kind of a second regatta on the third weekend of October. And this has two legs, two moments. On Saturday, sailing super yacht regatta with 15 sailing yachts above 80 footers, sailing in front of San Marco Square in a very suggestive, in a very wow landscape and backdrop. And they are associated with the high upper scale hotels of Venice. So every boat is associated to a 5 luxury hotel. And on the Sunday, a fleet regatta with hundreds of boats is more a popular event, starting on the open sea, sailing across the entrance of the lagoon, and arriving in front of San Marco Square with a wonderful wonderful pictures every year.
How spectacular.
Next year, we will have the honor of placing the World Marina Conference by ICOMIA in between those two events.
Oh, fantastic.
So from Wednesday to Friday of October 15, 17, 2025.
Yeah.
So after the Barcolana in Trieste, the biggest regatta in the world, and before the weekend of sailing in Venice, we will host the ICOMIA World Marina Conference. That I do think it's one of the most interesting B2B technical and professional events for our community of marina managers, marina owners, and supply chain connected with the marine infrastructures.
I agree. It's a great event. Good coffee is what gets me going for the day, and I'm sure it does you too. So if you're looking for a really good coffee, looking over the boats and the water, then may I suggest Waterside Bistro at Empire Marina Bobbin Head, and of course, Bobbin Head, literally on top of the North Shore. This incredible location feels like it's miles from anywhere, and yet it is only a 5-minute drive from North Turramurra. Look forward to seeing you there. For more details, go to watersidebistro.com.au. And so you've been involved in ICOMIA for a while, haven't you? Tell us what ICOMIA is first, for those that don't know. It's the International Council of Marine Industry Associations, correct?
In practice, I feel, as an operator, I feel ICOMIA being the entity coordinating the different yachting industry of the single countries of the world.
Yes.
Giving a global vision, not only for boat building, but also for marine infrastructure.
Yeah.
I think it is the table on which every marine operator and yachting association need to be for being updated, for sharing the problems, for having common solutions, planning the future, and benchmarking different industry around the world, learning, and also promoting the industry.
And networking. I think it's a brilliant event for networking.
I fully agree, and this has been my experience, being not coming from a family on this business. 15 years ago, I attended to my first ICOMIA World Marina Conference mainly because I felt ignorant and I wanted to learn. And in learning to come knowing, possibly face by face, the colleagues and the operator around the world. And after 6 edition of maybe 7 edition of the ICOMIA World Marina Conference, I every time took home wonderful lessons, case histories, best practices, and friendship with the several operators all around the world. I also appreciated this networking attitude, which is not only during the days of the conference, but it keep on before and after in terms of new project or advising or simply being in contact. And I can say I feel privileged living in Venice because sooner or later, every colleague and every friend is passing by.
Yeah.
Because of Venice is quite central in the world. It's quite well connected through an international great airport and also by train or by road and sometimes by the sea. So in a way or another, I feel this logistics and attractiveness of the city of Venice gives reasons for all the delegates and potentially exhibitors and sponsors during the conference to attend the event, which is the same reason that allow me to welcome friends either in my house or in the accommodation of our marina or with their boat at least 5 to 8 times per year.
Yeah.
I have friends coming from Australia, from the States, from Northern Europe, sometimes from South America or Africa or Asia, coming by and saying, I'm passing to Venice, or maybe I have an appointment in London. What do you think if I take a flight and I spend a couple of days or a weekend? Are you alone or with your family? This time I'm alone, but next time I come back with my family. Or my son is passing with the friends in Venice. They are visiting Biennale or they're going to the movie festival. What about if I come there and we have a dinner together? The centrality and the interest of being in Venice allowed me to keep a wonderful community of friends, mostly coming from yachting and sailing. Despite I'm not traveling and sailing as I was doing 20 years ago. So I was going to friends.
Yes.
Now mostly friends are coming to are coming to me. And I'm proud that the small marina I arranged in the meantime is now able to host several boats and several people.
Before we go on from there, you have to know something. The time that Darren, my husband, came to you and you took him out to dinner at a restaurant and you said, so we're going to dinner, and you pulled up your beautiful, it's a Riva, isn't it? Yes. So you pulled up your beautiful Riva to take him to a restaurant at night through the canals. And he said, I felt like I was in a James Bond movie.
This is similar when Joe came last week.
Yeah.
But I think because we live into a kind of a daily film, the relationship and the feeling with the water in Venice is something that we have since when we are kids and make us being watching the city from the real perspective. You have to think that when Venice has been built, including the wonderful monumental buildings, the normal accessibility was the water side.
Yeah.
Nowadays, unfortunately, is less. But the idea of visiting the city and the lagoon by a boat, even if it is a small boat, sometimes it need to be a small boat going in the small channels,
Yeah.
is, in my opinion, a privileged point of view and always a wonderful
Oh,
experience.
it's amazing. Yeah, it's wonderful. So let's get to your marina. So it was a space that was contaminated, it was abandoned, and you've turned it into an incredible facility. Um, how big is that facility? How many boats are in there? And tell us all about your marina.
I'm I have to tell you something really confidential. I've been very inspired from several point of view by Empire Marina.
Oh,
And when you see the layout of our marina, which has been designed accordingly to the morphology of the site,
yes,
because we didn't have the chance of designing from scratch as you normally do in the middle of the sea or on a normal coastal marina. You just design the breakwater and then the layout of your berth inside.
yeah,
You can decide make it round or square, long or short, different sizes. But designing a marina from scratch on a green field is something that is completely the opposite as what I've been obliged to do inside a protected environmental site with very several restrictions from the sediment point of view
yeah,
in terms of draft and dredging to the landscape restrictions, the environmental compensation and mitigation of flora and fauna. We had to rebuild completely a marshal, an artificial marshal,
yeah.
and nobody was really believing this was the environmental compensation. After 15 years, we have irons and an incredible reproduction area of birds,
Oh, fantastic.
including some protected species and rose flamingos, which in Venice were not seen since ages.
Wow.
And this was the setup of the marina being engineered, studying the past of the island and the possibility in terms of transformation. Because obviously, to transform an industry and a production site, which was working with 1,500 employees, it was really a factory
Yeah,
into an environmental, let's say, into a park with marina and yachting facilities is still an impacting project.
yeah.
We dredged, we destroyed the buildings, we took the waste to the proper recycling sometimes or to the waste other times. We worked a lot with the phytobioremediation with bacteria and microbioorganism in order to destroy the hydrocarbons of the soil. This has been called the low impact or no impact soil remediation. At the end of the day, the marina has 45,000 square meters of maritime concession based on a long lease on the whole island, which is lasting 99 years. This has been a long discussion with the authorities,
Mm,
comparing the duration of the concession to the investment.
yes.
The marina nowadays can host, it has been realized in 3 steps, and now can host 450 yachts.
Wow.
Um, most of them are small to mid-sized,
Yeah.
but there are 30 berths for ships up to 65 meters.
Okay. Big. Yeah.
We have 10 to 15 relatively big yachts, more or less 150, 200 boats in between 40 and 60 footer, and the rest are smaller.
Yeah.
We have also a shipyard facility
Yes.
for lifting and launching and maintenance. The same shipyard is also a boat building for small wooden crafts,
Oh, nice.
as my personal boat.
Yeah.
Mine is older; it is 60 years old, but we produce replica in wood, in plywood, and with a different on demand up to 10 boats per year. So it's
Fantastic.
a small artisan production.
Yeah.
The marina also has some accommodations. We call them crew houses. They are apartments for crews and boat owners. Sometimes small boat owners preferring to sleep on shore, or boat owners inviting friends or the rest of the family. They share boat and apartments.
That's a nice idea.
And also a small 20 rooms hotel. This will be the facility hosting the World Marina Conference with quite an effort, because despite the usual strategy of the conference being inside a conference center,
Yeah.
we will do the challenging we did the challenging proposal of hosting the conference inside the shipyard and inside the marina facility,
Oh my goodness.
as we did for other fashion, artist, and architecture events. So we will transform our shipyard into a conference site.
Yes.
Literally moving the boats and putting and setting up audio systems, chairs, and videos and everything needed. And this will be the characteristic of this event, of this edition.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I
Actually
do
being
hope people will
in it.
enjoy.
Oh, I think we'll love it.
For us, it's an extra effort because it's a lot of movements and transformation, also to secure full security and quality of the event.
Yeah.
But there will be this kind of a contrast being discussing our business inside the shipyard, inside the marina.
Yeah.
If you will exit from the shed, transformed in the main meeting rooms for up to 600 people, you will see the crane, you will see the berths, you will see the boats.
Brilliant.
And I hope people will enjoy this relationship, including the exposition areas and some green mobility boats have been also in the test sea trials and exposition. I hope people will enjoy this full immersion in Venice, including the marina tours.
Yes.
That will be bringing the delegates around the Lagoon of Venice, visiting more than 10 marinas
More
in
than 10?
in two
Wow.
groups.
Fantastic. That's so good. At Empire Marinas, we're family owned and we care about your boat. That's why we always have full hard stand facilities on site so that we can save you time, money, and give you the greatest expertise on taking care of your boat. We are here for you, your boat, and a great boating lifestyle. To bring your boat to Empire Marinas, simply contact us at empiremarinas.com.au and we'll see you on the water soon. And I'm guessing as well, because I've been lucky enough to be to a number of ICOMIA conferences, and every time we go somewhere, they really show off. I mean, for me, one of the really memorable ones was the one that Stavros organized in Athens, and the incredible events that we did there at the museum overlooking the Pantheon, and just incredible locations, and that the average person that goes to those locations doesn't get to experience. So I'm guessing you've organized some amazing things in Venice too. Would that be right?
Unfortunately, 3 days, or let's say 2.5 days, are never enough.
Yeah.
That's why we added a welcome cocktail the day before. We also proposed some, let's say, extra additional moment to share Venice and the lagoon from a non-ordinary perspective, because we do think almost everybody came to Venice once in his life.
Yes.
But on the other side, we are able to open a different point of view.
Yeah,
and
which
this,
is what I
this
love.
will be the challenge.
Yeah.
Hoping all the participants will come back with a different perspective. On the other side, we'll have, despite the conference being on a non-conventional site, which is in the city center, but on a separate island, so island on an island, into an environmental and yachting location. The gala dinner will be in a very iconic, central, wonderful palace.
Oh.
And on the other side, we will also split the group. in the days before, because some of the Venetian authentic experiences cannot be done on with 500 people going on the same spaces.
Yeah.
One of the technical visit that actually nobody can normally do is to the innovative system which is closing the water of the open sea to the lagoon
Oh, okay.
and saving Venice from sea level rise, at least for the next 100 years.
Fantastic.
This is the most controversive and most innovative solution for, let's say, assuring the resilience of the city of Venice to the climate change
Yeah.
and to the clear sea level rise, which would have compromised the future, compromised the future of Venice of the next decades.
Which would be tragic.
Nowadays,
Yeah.
the city of Venice is able to stop the tide when it is dangerous for the life of the city and the monuments and everything else. So every time the tide is predicted above 1 meter and 10 centimeter at the average sea level, the lagoon is closing the entrances. So we keep more or less 70 centimeter inside the lagoon when we have 120, 130, 150 in the open sea. There's a gap of more than half a meter, which saved the city nowadays and will save the city for the next decades.
Yeah.
We will visit this super engineering part of our territory.
Oh, wow. That would be fascinating. Brilliant. So good. So obviously the marina associations and boating industry associations and all those people know about ICOMI events and how they can get involved and all those sorts of things. But for those maybe companies out there that are listening to this and hearing about this event for maybe even the first time, and their events that they're companies that want to expose their brand to those people attending that conference, how can they get involved? Is there sponsorship opportunities? Is there different ways that they can help this event or get involved in this event?
Actually, we have 4 streams of
Okay.
participation. The simplest one is to register as a delegate or group of delegates, and I do hope all the marina industry professionals will have the notice and will be aware. And then I do think everybody will decide according his own agenda and interest, but I guess everybody will save the date, 17 October 2025. The second possibility for corporation is to be exhibitors. We will arrange a village around the conference, inside the conference itself, as it has been done in the past. And this will allow any small, mid, or big corporation to be visible with their own stand in every moment of the conference, including the coffee breaks and the lunches, and to be part of the media and promotional plan. The third possibility is to be a sponsor of the event, which has been historically one of the very interesting possibility for the conference. And I've been personally surprised that all the sponsors of the previous events confirmed their interest and they approached us saying, I'm happy about the feedback I had being a sponsor in the last editions. I would like to be sponsored again.
That's great.
This is still part of what we are doing because since now we approached the 780 professional organization, corporation, from the fender producer to the floating pontoon producer, insurances companies, boat builders, engine producers, services providers, engineering company. We really approached everybody. That's why it's super interesting to be here at the Mets Amsterdam, and Mets Trade was very collaborative to promote our approach to the Mets exhibitors because they are actually the same stakeholders of the World Marina Conference. Last but not least, and sorry, we have several packages for sponsors, so from being basic sponsors up to being title sponsor on different levels with different investment and different also benefits we give to the sponsors, including the gala dinner, the visibility, the branding, not only during the 3 days conference, but also during the road to the conference from now or from month ago across all the boat shows. We'll be in boat Dusseldorf, we'll be in Dubai, we'll be at AMI in the United States, the American Marinas Conference. We will be in Miami Boat Show, as well as in Venice Boat Show, and then Cannes, Southampton, and Genova Boat Show next year. We'll also have a website activity. The website is already on. Everybody can find the information in the website, World Marina Conference 2025.com. And we are already started months ago for some social media activities on the different platforms.
And most importantly, you've been on the Boat Princess podcast.
Thank you, Mike. Last but not least, we are receiving proposal for being speakers because we would like to keep the ordinary topics that has always been raised with a kind of an update on every topic. But on the other side, we would also like some new evidences, new matters, new trends, and hopefully also new people, not only new speakers, not only coming from our industry, but also coming from other experiences, being interested for our delegates.
Yeah, because I think we can learn a lot from other industries about how they're doing things. Definitely. And bringing it to marine.
On every point of view.
Yeah, because it's, marinas are marinas are very closely linked to hotels. They're very closely linked to even caravan parks. There's all different industries that the car industry is very close to how they do things, and they're very progressive to, bringing that to the boating industry as well. I think there's real opportunities there from other industries to come and talk to us.
I'm normally very surprised because, daily, which is, I think, good and also challenging in our job, is how much multidiscipline approaches and how many different matters we approach every day in our job. We not only have the hospitality part of it, but we still have the technical one, and they are merging every day in the needs of our guests and clients. They have technical and leisure issues to rise. We have all the marketing part of our job for a non-stop promotion of new destinations, but also historical ones. They're not forever on the maps. They still need to update their approaches, and we have new technologies, innovation on every aspect, from the management to the human resources. And we have actually fantastic opportunities from digitalization, but we are also approaching the more interesting, from my point of view, topics, speaking about gender equality and accessibility in all the terms. So we always speak about sustainability on at least 3 ratio, which is not only environmental, but also social, and at the end of the day, also economic, because we need wealthy corporations to keep the other social environmental aspect. But at the end of the day, we are living a challenges moment from, let's say, global economy point of view or geopolitics. And our infrastructure, most of the time, are privately managed, but they have big social responsibilities. Mainly because we manage public property for a certain duration of time, and we have the responsibility of keeping, not only keeping, but also adjusting and developing the public property we are leasing or temporary.
We really are a privately owned public facility, aren't we? Yeah, as marinas. That's what we do. Some of them are publicly owned, some of them are government owned in different countries and so on, and even different states. So, for example, in Australia, Western Australia, a lot of the marinas are government owned. But you and I are perfect examples. We own marinas, well, as much as you can, because it's a lease, it's not a total ownership. But we're providing a service and a public space for everyone to enjoy, but we're a private business at the same time. So it has its challenges, but they're all positive and wonderful. But I think it's a really interesting business in that regard. Yeah,
I fully agree. Also,
yeah.
because we have a lot of complementary and collateral project inside the marina from all the aspects. Sometimes we are risking to be disrupted from our ordinary business and management because we have proposal from different point of view that can be in social. We are doing wonderful things for let's say disabled and I don't like the word, but still accessibility in yachting.
Yeah.
A lot about school and school approaches and learning educational project, which are not only in our business, but in general for maritime culture. We have a lot about big and small experimental project in new technologies, mainly about production of self-production of energy and innovative fuels, including biofuels for all our activities, not only on the water, but also on land.
Yeah.
Because we actually have several images. Actually, the World Marina Conference is giving us a summary of all that.
Yes.
It's not meant to give the full solutions, but to let all the participants having curiosity on different aspects and take home the spirit of innovation, collaboration, and transformation with best cases and best practice around the world, and a lot of colleague for the most effective networking I've ever seen.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for talking to us, Alberto. It's been lovely to have you on the podcast. As a friend, I really enjoy our friendship and knowing that there's a man in Venice that I get to visit every now and then and see. And I'm really looking forward to this conference. I love the World Marinas Conference anyway, but Venice has a very special place in my heart. I find it one of the most beautiful places in the world. So I cannot wait to be there. So look forward to it.
Thanks a lot. Thank you for hosting and congratulations for your fantastic and very various podcast, which I am honored to know since a while.
Oh, thank you. So for those of you looking for further information on this event, simply go to worldmarinasconference.com and you'll find all the info there. Make sure you lock in your diaries 15 to 17 October 2025. But as Alberto very kindly suggested, I'd lock in the whole week and go to all those amazing events around it as well. Can't wait to see you all there, and we'll see you on the water soon. Well, it's been lovely to have you listen out there, folks. I really appreciate your ears. And if you'd like to get in contact, just follow me on Instagram at The Boat Princess, and perhaps leave me a comment on today's picture of our podcast so that we can get an idea of what you thought about it. That'd be lovely. Take care, and we'll see you on the water soon.